Okay, so hello everyone, episode 2. A bit of warning. We will be talking about some sensitive topics, and as we don't know your background and in particular your mental health experiences or states of mind you might be in at that particular moment, be aware that you need to be safe. And this is the priority. So if you get distressed at any point, feel free to leave the meeting and come back. If you don't feel like coming back, remember that you can always rewatch it on YouTube when we launch it. If at any point you need to seek help, we have few signposting. We will post it in the chat in a second. So for the UK, you can call Samaritans on 116123, or you can text SHOUT to 85258, or you can look for local mental health services in your area by using the lovely Hub of Hope app. Support is there, so please do not suffer in silence. In Sweden, if you need support, you can call 112 or mind at 90101, or you can use the chat. And this, I assume, Jennifer, is the chat that is particular for Sweden, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. If you are tuning in from USA, you can seek support by calling 211 or 1-800-273-TALK, or you can chat at this number as well. We will paste those numbers in the chat in case you need to copy them for future references. But be aware that you can seek help. We have only those 3 areas for support. If you're tuning from anywhere else, of course, feel free to to search your local area for available help. And if it's a case, you could let us know what numbers are helpful in your area, so next time we can share it too. So this brings us to housekeeping. Please keep yourself on mute until you want or need to speak. That way we are restricting the background noise, and it's easier for everyone to hear. We have live caption on as we have a participant who needs them, and although they are not always very accurate, mostly due to my accent, please feel free to refer to them if you need support in that way. We will record the session, as Jennifer said, and this is purely for the reason of posting it on YouTube for those who couldn't be here but would like to rewatch. And this takes us to our poster. This is the 2nd episode, and we didn't think before that we will do another episode, but we had so many inquiries if we are going to do another one, that we decided to comply. So this is episode 2. We titled it Art with a Lowercase a. We will explain why in a second, but we would like to attract your attention to something. First of all, you can follow us on Instagram, and this is a good channel of communication. We are quite prompt responding to any messages, so those links we can also post, those handles we can post into chat in a second. And we decided that we not always get to know or are aware that you are producing so wonderful art inspired by us. So we came up with the idea of sharing your creation on your social media using a hashtag. So there are 2 hashtags that you could use. The whole name of our events, Creative Release for Mental Wellness, or short abbreviation of this long name, so CRFMW. And that will be brilliant because that way we will definitely see it, but you can also tag us or mention us in a post, and that way we will also have it. And this get us to the aspect of that we decided to share more and entertain you from time to time, share our stories and news and whatever happens in our creative lives. So we decided to launch a creative release for mental wellness newsletter. And of course, we need to seek your permission. So I will stop sharing for a moment. If I get this out. Okay, stop sharing. And I will launch a poll. And it would be great if you can answer the questions there, and we will get it from there. So please do let me know, Jennifer, if everyone can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is not working, at least not for me.
Oh gosh. Anybody else? Is it working for you? Yes, for others, it's maybe because you are co-host, Jennifer. This might be an issue.
That might be why.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are actually, yes, I can see answers popping in. Perfect. This is wonderful. And it's so nice. We have 20 people joining us, so that's wonderful. And then the others will probably watch on the replay, which is great. All right, and we still have some answers coming in, so we give it another minute. Thanks, everybody. For the people that are saying no for the email, do you mind maybe sending us, one of the hosts, a private message down in the chat so that we can take note of your actual email address? Just let us know what you registered with. And you can do that in the chat by clicking on the button that says everyone and changing it to either of us. Sally, same with you. If you, I see in the chat that you're unable to do the poll on your iPad. So just send one of us a message and let us know. All right. Shall we go ahead?
There is someone in.
Is there someone in the waiting room? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. I think that that's all that could vote. For some reason, maybe some couldn't.
Yeah. So feel free to message us.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Let's go ahead and end it, and then.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Okay.
And did we have more slides at this point, or were we just gonna?
Yes, 1 second. I just got confused with the buttons.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons, and it's Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Why it keeps popping in? Share screen and share. There
we go.
Okay. All right. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but yesterday was the World Art Day. So we would like to use 5 minutes to let you know a bit about our art, as this is our life, at least most of our lives, and talk a little bit about some recent creations that we did. And Jennifer, if you don't mind starting, then I will switch off the sharing option.
Yes.
Perhaps I will start. Jennifer,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. And
don't stress.
Stacy, I saw your message. You will see 2 screens because one is going to be my art. I swear we practiced before and it worked just fine.
It always works during the brief, doesn't it? And later something goes completely out of order. Yeah, but do not worry, Jennifer. I will start.
Go ahead.
So this is what I would like to share with you. I am new to art, if you believe it. I started creating my art due to a rediscovery of my creativity through art therapy that I have attended after a massive mental health breakdown. And it was just by chance. I didn't choose to do art therapy session, but I was directed to it. And I was very skeptic how it will help, but it did enormously. And I never looked back. I do create every day because if I don't, I physically feel unwell. To the extent that I got encouraged by people who share similar experiences, that I should share it with public, because I focus very much in my art on mental health and states of mind, and I was told that my images do represent and depict the struggles of many, and not everyone can express it whichever way, via image or verbally, but seeing the image gives them the sense of comfort and familiarity, that they are understood and that there is someone who goes through similar things. So I had my first exhibition in October last year, and guess what? Got closed after a week because of pandemic. My luck. My life is full of those. However, there is a very sensitive, very famous quote saying that if you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. So I did. So I did something that is quite unorthodox, I was told by artists, and I published a book with all the pieces exhibited at that exhibition. And it is available on Amazon. It is titled Mental Health in Pictures, and it contains over 30 pieces of different art, with narratives, some poetry as well, depicting my mental states and my journey, really. So we will post the links in a second. You can get it. So this is recent, but not the most recent. I didn't stop there. My collection of mental health images is growing, and the most recent one that I have created is that one. I have shared it on Instagram not long ago, a few days ago, and it is the goddess of grief, anxiety, and depression. Her name is Oasis. And because we are having, why I chosen that one, is because we are talking about art with lowercase a, and sometimes we do not plan to create a masterpiece or to create anything really that we would like to show to the public. Very often we engage in this art for, own personal stress relief or whatever, worry relief. But very often I find that when I engage in art, I create something and I started to see something that was very subconscious. And this is how it happened with that goddess, that I had excessive gold paint. I was working on a commission, and I am a person who hates wasting resources. Money don't grow on the tree, and those resources cost. So I just started to smudge that gold paint on a piece of card that I had nearby. And at some point, I noticed that I'm doing the movements, and they started to create a shape of face. Then I let it dry, left it for a few hours, and kept looking at it. And at some point, that goddess emerged. So I just enriched it with gray ink and played with it a little bit. And here she is. So this is how sometimes the art pieces get born. They are not planned. Well, many children are born although they haven't been planned. So that's very common life aspect, isn't it? And yeah, this piece is available for sale. Should you wish, you can approach me via my Instagram or email that I will post in a second. When Jennifer is talking, then I will engage with the chat. Yeah, you can inquire about it if you wish to. So to you, Jennifer.
Okay, and now I am going to try this again. Let's see. I'm going to start the video if it allows me to. And we are looking in the wrong spot, but it's better than it was. Okay, there we go. Let me put that one in the spotlight so that, or actually, let me start by talking a little bit first. Let's see. Oh, okay. I don't know what I did, but anyway, maybe it's just me now. It seems that's on spotlight, but anyway, yeah, just a little bit of an introduction. My artist name is Jennifer Mazur. I am from Florida in the US, but I've been living in Sweden for about 20 years now. Time flies. Absolutely shocked that it's been 20 years. I came here initially on the 2-year plan and fell in love, and I've been here ever since. I have been having struggles with my mental health since I think my first episode of depression was right around real depression, was 16 years old, and that's when I was medicated for the first time. So I've been on and off the medication for my entire life. It's been a real struggle. Um, and then when I was 40, I was officially diagnosed with ADD as well, in addition to my clinical depression. Um, as an artist, I've been creating art all my life. I come from a long line of artists, so it was really no surprise, I guess, that I started creating art so early. But on a professional level, it's only been the past year that I really decided that I was going to make the shift to full-time artist. And that's after the loss of my mom, which, was one of the most difficult things I've ever gone through. And right after I lost my mom, I was completely unable to create anything. And when I finally was able to get back into my studio, these girls were emerging, um, different from anything I had done in the past. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Sorry. And after doing some soul searching, really, through one of the most fantastic artist groups in the world that I'm in two. They're both fantastic. I'm not going to promote them here, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to give you the information because I think both of the women that run these are absolutely incredible and there are so many benefits. Anyway, ADD, I get sidetracked really, really easily. So I did a lot of soul searching and finally figured out the why I'm creating the women that I am. And I noticed when, after mom passed, when I would try and talk to my friends and would talk to people in general, and I would mention, my mom had passed away, I wasn't feeling well. I was getting a lot of, you know, comments like, I'm sorry to hear that. You should really go for a walk. You'll feel much better. Go for a walk, do some exercise. And then people didn't really want to talk about it. Um, and the other reason behind the girls that I create is because when I did finally get my ADD diagnosis, I had felt this enormous, enormous sense of relief. I had spent 40 years feeling like I was unable to finish anything that I had started. Really stupid, really dumb, really lazy. Pretty much every negative adjective you could put on yourself. And when I finally got that letter saying that, yes, I did in fact have ADD, and that my IQ was actually higher than average, it just takes me longer to process things. The amount of relief that I felt was just mind blowing. But along with the diagnosis was a letter from the psychiatrist saying, don't feel that you have to share this with anybody. This is private information. And so suddenly I went from feeling completely relieved to feeling, am I supposed to be ashamed of this? It was massive because I was so relieved, and you could see that there was stigma right away. So I'm going to switch the camera, or not the camera, but the spotlight. So these are the girls that I create. And forget this collage over here because that's for later. Anyway, I create these mixed media girls. I recently had an exhibit where I had a solo exhibit where I had 20 different girls in all different sizes. This is one that I named Tori. They are all created out of watercolor, and they're mixed media. These eyes, you can't really see here, but the eyes are three-dimensional. They're attached separately, so they lay on top. I create my girls to be very airy, imperfect. They're breaking outside of the lines, as you can see. I'm not coloring within the lines. And this is my way of showing that they're trying to break out of the mold that society kind of wants us to fit in. I've also given them somewhat of an Instagram filter. They're blurry, they're fuzzy. And that's because I feel that there's so much pressure, both with society and social media, that we need to portray ourselves in a certain way. We need to keep quiet about certain things, and we should only display our perfect lives. So she's far from perfect. She's filtered. She doesn't dare to show her true self. And through this eye, which if I can bring it closer, which is a lot more realistic, she's actually bearing her soul, trying to connect with people, anyone that will listen to her. So all of these pieces are on birchwood frames, and I have a few of them left on my webpage, which we'll share later. They're all for sale. The other thing that I've been working on a lot lately are these flowers, which I call my fantasy flowers. I have some of these available as well. This is, it doesn't have as long and as deep of a meaning. I will say that these are kind of a retreat for me when I just want to disappear into my imagination in a world where there's no right and there's no wrong. You can see the metallic there. Just beauty and joy and anything I want them to be without any judgment. And yeah, so those are some of the art pieces that I'm creating lately. And, very, very similar to a lot of people out there that have dealt with mental health issues. I also find that I need to create on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but it has to be something. And yeah, that's basically it for my part there. So
it's great, Jennifer. I have pasted your contact details in a chat, including the discount code for that event.
great.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love story behind it, and I love the aspect that I think it needs to be triple underlined, that we are all different and we are not made from the same mold. Therefore, celebrate it. Being different is something to be celebrated. Although I spent almost 40 years believing that I am a weirdo, but recently I have, celebrated the fact that it's good to be a weirdo, but it's better to say I am different, and that's beautiful. For that reason, those women are beautiful for that reason, that they are so different.
Yeah,
and they tell a story, which is
they
beautiful.
do. Yeah, and I actually had put together a little book to go with my exhibit, where what I tried to feature was that all of these women have a different diagnosis. So, for example, this one was Tori, and it might say in her profile, This is Tori. She has, I don't know, anything, PTSD, for example. Or actually, it doesn't say that, I'm sorry. It would say, this is Tori. She loves to ride bikes. When she grew up, she wanted to be a superhero. She likes to collect snails. She loves to hang upside down from trees. And she also has ADD. And my point there was that, you know, a diagnosis is not what defines us. I'm not Jennifer who's depressed, Jennifer with ADD. I'm Jennifer, you know, those are just tiny little details that are not more interesting than any of the other details about me. And, you know, my mission is to kind of encourage people that do have a history with mental health issues, that it doesn't define them. It's just a small part. You know, go out and be proud of who you are, talk about it, smash the stigma. The more we talk about it, the more we vocalize, the less power that the stigma carries. And that's why I called my exhibit Smash the Stigma. That is my biggest passion in the whole world. And that's why I create the art that I do create.
That's great. That's great, Jennifer. I'm conscious of time, so we need to crack on our hands-on approaches. Do you want to be first?
Yeah, I can go first. I haven't moved the camera, so it should be okay. Let's see. Where is my other?
Make sure to put it in a spotlight.
That's what I'm doing right now. So let's see. Replace spotlight. There we go. Okay. So let me move a little bit. I'll move these babies out of the way. So this is what I wanted to show first. So this is the collage that I created in the poster that we did for this event. And I just wanted to show, sometimes when I'm not feeling, I'm going to move my computer a little bit. Sometimes when I'm not feeling especially creative, it can be really, really difficult to get going, to get my creative juice flowing. So sometimes what I will do is just kind of, now I'm trying to find everything, is play with collage, something that I find really easy. And these pieces of paper I take from lots of different places. So for example, I am not going to knock that over. So for example, this is just an old book. I rip pages out of old books. I take things off of wrapping paper. Ooh, that's a terrible view. There we go. Don't have to look at my tummy. I take things off of out of wrapping paper, newspaper, anywhere that I find something that's really interesting. And then what I'll do is just kind of play with the different elements and try and find something that works. So I have cut out a few elements here. And actually, I wanted to tell a story. And maybe I can do that while I am pasting everything down. But my idea here with this piece is that I wanted to talk about those horrible voices that we hear in our head. I think I can actually sit, which would be great. The ones that tell us that we're stupid, or that we're worthless, that we mess everything up, that we're lazy. Those are voices that we tend to hear over and over and over again. And so there's a story. I'm going to start just pasting things down in the meantime. And here I just have like normal white paint, school paint. What I've done here is I actually took a woman from a magazine and cut her out, and then used it as a little, what's the word? I traced it and I cut it out. And so here's her shape. And I wanted to use the words to kind of signify the endless chatter that we hear in our heads. So I'm just going to paste this down. And in the meantime, much easier with a glue stick, but I don't have one. And I also couldn't find a brush, so I'm using a Q-tip. But anyway, so the story goes that, you know, actually Dorota can tell it much better because she's the one that told it to me. But basically,
if you want me, I can tell the story and you
Why
can
don't
just.
you tell the
Yeah.
story?
Yeah.
I'll do this while you tell the story.
I'm sure that many of you heard that story before. It's about a parrot. That imagine that you wanted to have a pet. You get yourself a beautiful, colorful parrot. But this is what you didn't know about this parrot. That parrot already has certain habits. So it constantly talks to you, which you would value because you wanted a talking parrot. But this particular parrot is quite naughty. It points out all the little flaws of yours. So if you are running late to work, it will constantly say, you see, you can never be in time. You are stupid. You see, why did you have this lane? You never set the alarm properly. You are stupid. You are lazy. And this parrot is going on and notices every little aspect that goes wrong in your life and blames you, constantly you. So the question is, how long would you keep that parrot talking to you like that? How long would you let it to poison your life and your thoughts? When will be the moment when you will have enough and cover that parrot with a bed sheet and lock it in the cage and do not let it talk anymore? When will be the point when you will say, you know what, you're going back to the pet shop. I had enough of you. I'm giving you back. So now imagine that this is your parrot in your head. How much longer you would let it talk to you nasty things? You need to cover it up. You need to cage it and cover it with the sheet, bed sheet or towel or whatever you have handy, because nobody is allowed to speak to you as such. So the moral of this story is that treat your thoughts like the naughty parrot, and when it speaks too much, too naughty, just cover it up, cage it up, or give it back to the pet shop if you can.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think, it's the same thing that I always try to tell myself. I can have a lot of nasty self-talk in my head, but when I hear friends talking about themselves in that manner, I generally yell at them and say, "Don't talk about yourself like that." And they say all the time that we should really talk to ourselves as we would a friend. Um, and I don't know why it's so difficult to do, but it is. But I think the more you practice letting it go, the easier it is to stop. One thing that I've noticed through a course that I've taken in the past, they have us actually write down every negative thing that we said to ourselves so that you'd really be aware. And it's amazing how much negative self talk we actually do. It's really, really sad.
Exactly, and Stacy said, "Oh, get the parrot stuffed,"
Yeah,
which I love.
that's great.
It's amazing, but obviously you can't stuff your brain or your thoughts or cage them or give them back to the shop, right? But there are more metaphorical ways you can stuff that parrot or you can cage that parrot. You could do exactly that, paint a carrot and paint bars around it to cage it on the paper and display it to yourself. And anytime you hear that awful parrot, look at that picture and say, back to your cage.
That's right.
um, you
That's
could
right.
you could write down those nasty comments and put them in a jar and then dig a hole in your garden and just bury it.
That's right.
You can do many
Burn them.
metaphorical stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. So this collage that I'm doing now, I'm doing it quite fast. So obviously I had played a little bit with the layout before now. And my significance behind this, we have a couple of different elements. The first thing before I do that is I need to turn this so that I can write. What else? So these are some of the messages that I've said to myself, and I don't know if you can read them, but I'll read them to you. So anyway, here we have a woman. So this is signifying me in this case. Here we have the nasty little parrot that is screaming into my head constantly. This right here are the thoughts that are constantly circling around in my head. And here I've written stupid, worthless, dumb, good for nothing, and shit. And this is me showing that this is a compass that has been taken apart. So this is basically me showing that I've completely lost my way. And me trying to find my way, moving in that direction. What I would generally do is I doodle on it as well. So I have a tier here that isn't, I should have done this before, sorry. I'm gonna color in a gold tier because I have a fetish with gold, I think. I do a lot of gold in all of my, well, everything. And I'm just gonna glue down this little, actually I want to put it on that side. So she has a golden tier. And then what I generally will do is I'll just take, let's see, and I'll just start kind of doodling on it as well to add some interest. Oops, box in the way. And I am not ever concerned about getting I'm not a perfectionist. I have learned it's better to do something than nothing at all. If perfection is holding me back. And I love to just get my hands dirty and get in there and do it. I think, yeah. So that's the basic idea. And then this is a really big sketchbook. So generally what I do is I'll do the collage on one side, and then I will go ahead and do some sort of journaling on the other side, whatever I was thinking about when I created the collage. And I find it really, really useful and cathartic even to go back and read my thoughts afterwards. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be anything that necessarily tells a story. That's just something that I do sometimes. But you can just take random pieces, some things that you like, anything that calls out to you, and just kind of just play with it. No rules, no expectations. You know, it's just, it takes no artistic ability whatsoever, which is the reasoning behind art with a lowercase a. You do not need to be an artist. I'm going to knock over a box if I try and get to these. So the idea is just to create something, to get some sort of outlet for any sort of anxiety or stress that you're feeling. And in the meantime, just create something. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It's just getting it out and doing something. And I think journaling is a big part of the experience as well. So there we go. There is one collage done. The other thing, there is a really good website where you can print royalty-free images. And I use those a lot. I don't have any sitting here, but that's where I got this girl from. These were from books, but there are so many images out there. It's just something to have fun with and just Yes, I can send out the link. I'll put it in the chat as well as soon as I'm not in the spotlight. But anyway, there we go. There's a little easy, creative. It only looks effortless because I spent some time earlier today trying to figure out the layout, and I had cut out maybe 3 billion different things, and I found this to work well with the story that I had in my mind about the parrot and the way that I talk to myself. So that's that. And let me put us both. Actually, I'm gonna switch.
We will post. We will, as usual, send you a post-event communications in which we will have all the links we talked about and all, you know, the whatever we shared with you. So that way you will have access to it.
Exactly.
Okay. I didn't figure out my software for sharing my camera using my phone while I'm on the laptop. So you will not see me for a while, but you will hear me. So this what I'm going to show you is creating an image out of a paint blob. And why a paint blob? Because like I said before, I hate wasting resources. And when you paint, you will always find a bit of excess of paint. Sometimes you really don't want to squeeze so much, but it just, you know, blobs. and later you finding out that you just need to wash it off and in such a way. So I always use an excessive paint to press it against the paper. And those who had a chance to watch the prep, you may have this blob created. If not, I will quickly run you through it, but if it's wet, you may not be able to work with it straight away. But if you did the prep, you may have the image. So I always use a maximum of 3 colors. That is why I have plenty of those blobs laying around. And I just over here, I will just squeeze out. Sorry for the noises. This is the paint tube talking. But sometimes when I have it on the palette, this is what I do. I just, you know, take it with the knife from the palette and just squeeze it on the, oh, how to say it, you know, clean it off the paper. Okay. And if you have a lot of paint, like just a blob now fell off, you will receive a lovely texture. If you have only little paint, the kind of effect will be more gentle. And the last color, I always use 3, and this time I will just squash it like that. And there are 2 ways of doing it. If you don't want to have a bend in the middle, you can use another paper to press on the top of it. But for that occasion, I will just fold the paper and then you receive a kind of mirror effect. So this is what I do, fold it over and just press. And now press gently or hard, it's up to you. You will receive different effect. Sometimes I even do that, a flick here and there to just smudge the paint. If you press strongly at the edge here, you will have a more firm bending, but it doesn't really matter. And the point is not to leave it too long, because if it sticks together, then it will rip with the paper. While when it's still wet, you just open it up and you receive a beautiful blob, which I will now let it overnight to, you know, let it dry overnight. And you see there where there was excessive paint, you have those lovely textures that I'm really addicted to. And this is what I do when it's dry. Sometimes straight away I, you know, engage with it, but sometimes I'll just put it somewhere in my view when I'm working and look at it from time to time, then flick you know, the layout and see it from that way, maybe upside down, and just look at it and try to see something. And when I see something, then I add the images. So this will stay there to dry, but this is exactly how those fish emerged. I had excessive paint. I put it on one side. I folded it up and then looked at it. And at some point I saw fish. So I enhanced them with the Sharpie and added a little line in the bending, symbolizing the fishing rod and them trying to escape it. So because I want to show you how to work at the next stage, I have brought the image that I created for the prep. So there were those two images. Over here, I used two the same size cards to press it not to have a bending. So this is what I will do. I looked at it today and a little bit yesterday, and decided that it really links with the story we just told you. So I'm going to enhance it to show you the and this moved again, I think, to show you what I saw. So this is what I do. I use a Sharpie because, first of all, Sharpie dries pretty quickly if I find it. Where's my Sharpie? Okay. Dries pretty quickly and rarely smudges later on. Here is Sharpie. Okay, so I don't know if you will believe me, but I have seen in it a parrot, and you may not, but I will show you how I see it. So here will be a big okay, maybe it's not the most beautiful parrot, but if you can see, here is its beak, here is its head, here a bit of rough feathers, probably from me hitting it from time to time when it was talking nasty to me, and its wings are folded so we can't see it spread. So this is what I will do now. I will paint all the excessive white space with felt pens, because they work very quick. So for example, there where it's orange, I will color in orange. The same thing will work if you have water paints, because they quickly can cover huge spaces, or if you have ink, you can cover those spaces pretty easily. And I may use different felt pens for different areas. And whatever excessive paint stays there, I may, embed it in another drawing. Sometimes it's very obvious image that you can see in the blob, and then it's very easy. Sometimes it really requires a bit of imagination. But why I chosen that technique? Because there are days, when I feel that I don't have much to say today, but I really have an urge to do something artistic. So, like I said, I do those, blobs and keep them dry in my storage. And whenever I need it, I just dig into it and bring something out. And very often I find that that this kind of blob can really, kindle my creativity. That by seeing something and enhancing it, it gives me a kind of reward, I would say, that I was very in a dark place, creative block. I didn't have anything artistically to say, but then I did that, and it looks cool. Those textures in the paint. well, I am addicted to textures, so I just love touching them and you know, playing with them. But this is something that you can create at ease, you can create with your children. Sometimes it will be very, you know, simple image, like very often you will see that like another blob that I created, that it's straight away you can see that it's a bat, right? Or any kind of flying creature. So some of it you will see that very easily it speaks to you, and you can find the image. Sometimes you will need a bit of creativity, which is fine too. And that does work, yeah. And I just color in. For the bigger white spaces, I often use ink or something like that because it's just quicker. I am very impatient being. So I do create quickly, and I have no other really choice than create quickly because I work a lot and I have a toddler and a puppy and now an unwell male creature in the house. And believe me, my partner being unwell is like having 2 additional toddlers. So for that reason, I always need to create pretty quickly. So I don't know if you can see it, but the head already emerged and the beak a little bit. And now I will continue doing the rest of its body and the background. But obviously, I don't want you to get bored with me doing it. So I think that I will continue as we go and share with you the end outcome.
I'm so glad to see that there's so many of you that are actually trying at the same time. That's absolutely fantastic. And like I wrote in the chat, and we've said before, you do not need to be an artist to do this. You just need to have, you know, the willingness to try. And as I just said to Gabriella, you've got 10 brushes right here. You don't need to have anything special. You don't have to go out and
Oh
spend
yes,
money.
how often I do paint with my fingers, because you know what? Mostly when I am anxious, stressed, or angry, you know, dipping my hands and feeling the coolness of the paint, but later it getting warm and squeezing through my fingers, it gives me some kind of sensory stimulation that I can't compare to anything that I know in life. And yeah, and you know, mixing the colors, and very often you finish with brown, obviously, because when you mix too many, but you know, it's this kind of kinesthetic approach, isn't it? Your hands in the paint, amazing.
It is. And I mean, you know, in the one that I did the other day that we had in the invitation, I used a pen. I didn't want to use any of my my Posca pens or anything special, because I wanted you to see all you need is a magazine, a newspaper, something you print out from your computer, a pen, glue, and scissors. That's it. That's all you need. And, you know, with the blobs, the paint blobs, you can go to, I don't know if in the UK or in Sweden they don't really have, but you go into like the dollar store or anywhere, just buy kids' paints. You don't need to go for the expensive stuff. The idea is that you should have access to this, and that, you know, it's something I said last time. When we're creating, when we get into what they call flow, where you're just creating, hours can go by and you have no idea how much time has actually passed. But your mind, I mean, it's, you know, I'm going to say it again, ADD here, so I'm horrible with facts. But there's scientific, you know, they back it up, you know. I mean, you have a dopamine increase or release, and something with the cortisol, and you know, it absolutely does calm you down, and your brain cannot focus on the anxiety and the art at the same time. So as long as you get into that flow and you start to enjoy yourself, you're going to feel yourself coming down. And another thing that I mentioned last time, and I didn't mention this time, is when I'm about to create and I'm feeling really anxious or stressed. One thing that I'll do is some really easy breathing exercises to get myself started. I'm not necessarily going to demonstrate that again with an exercise, but basically, you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and you just keep going. In, hold, out, hold, in, hold. And they call it box breathing, and it will bring down your heart rate. It will make you feel a lot better. And we actually, I don't know if we already put in the link, but we will give you the link to the first episode.
I can do it now. Yes,
Yeah,
not
that'd
a
be
problem.
great. And you can see, some of the breathing exercise, and then the activities that we did last time, which were a lot of fun as well. And yeah, that's absolutely right, Sapphire. I mean, yeah, exactly. You need to breathe from your stomach. It needs to be deep breathing, kind of like you would do in yoga, if anybody has.
Well, this is the point, that you will find yourself that when you are engaged in creative process, naturally you breathe differently. And if you tune in and listen to yourself, when you are really engaged, you will notice that your breathing is much calmer, much deeper, because you are calmer, you are in a zone of tranquility. I always compare it to the meditative state. I suck at meditation. I really do. I can't switch off the chatter in my brain. And when somebody gives me instruction about breathing, I either hold it or hyperventilate. So the only moment when I breathe calmly is when I engage in drawing and sometimes listening. Not everyone likes it, and might say that for some it will be a sensory trigger, but I love felt pens and the sound they make on the paper, and try to breathe with the line. And mostly circles help, like breathe in for a circle and out for another. And I love the sound of the pen. I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, there are just so many benefits. And if you feel that these type of activities are not necessarily for you, I just urge you to do anything creative. That could be cooking, baking, singing, gardening, writing, I don't know, anything that uses that creative part of your mind. And you'll see how much art is not going to heal you, when it comes to your mental state, but it absolutely helps. And for me, I still take medication, but I have to do art as well. It really keeps me balanced and feeling like there's something positive, and then being able to see it afterwards. I love to meditate as well, but I don't walk away with anything in the same way. I think it's really interesting to have an art journal or a sketchbook, and then go back and look through it over time and see how you've evolved, see how you were feeling that day.
Yeah, and it's having art journal. I can't agree more that it's so crucial and so beneficial. And remember about that art journal can be so private, and you don't need to share it with the world. You
Right.
can keep it to yourself, and it could be about processing your thoughts and mental state. I always refer to my art as trapping demons on the paper, because I work a lot with these negative states of mind, because when I get them out of my head and put them on the paper, they are identified. I can process, and I can even kill them, in quotation mark. I can smash the damage the paper and put it in the fireplace or in a bin, and then I kind of killed it. I don't need to look at it anymore. Of course, it doesn't mean that it's completely out of my mind, but giving it a form, it helps to process, it helps to deal with it. But art journal not only can contain kind of negative thoughts or doodles. It can be also a wonderful, wonderful memorable kind of storage, you know. So many times I use my little one, I have a toddler, and when I do any art, she very often wants to be involved, obviously. So many times I just did her handprint, and now when I go back and I say, oh my God, it was 3 months ago, and it was so little and so cute, you know. So you can also involve your little ones, or something that has nice that happened, and you could treat it as a kind of journal that brings you joy when you need it, when you store something good that happened. There are many ways you can use journaling to manage and support your well-being, and the list is endless.
I lost your sound, the last sentence.
Oh, I said that the list is endless.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I think that we are heading towards the time when we should be finishing. So I'm curious if there are any questions or any willingness to share the outcomes. There was one comment that my eye fixated as I don't know.
Gabriella.
Yeah, saying that she's not an artist. You are an artist. Everybody is an artist. We are born with creativity. We just neglect it on the way. So you need to call into your inner child and play, because play is source of creativity. I can see Susie showing something. Jennifer, if you could give a spotlight.
Let me make you. I'll give you the spotlight, and let me take you off of mute. Actually, I don't think I can take you.
Yes, she's off mute. Yeah, you did.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
2 fingers.
Yeah, looking off into the. So what does that signify to you?
I lost my son, my 19-year-old son, 4 years ago. And for me, it's when I feel blue, I have to look through the window and look up. So it's just to look at the good things in life, basically, to everything that's around you. So
that's beautiful. That's
absolutely amazing, and such a beautiful reminder. You know, not only to yourself, but to us here. You know that yes, when you feel blue, you need to look up. You need to find something beautiful and good around you to fixate on it for a moment. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. That was brave, especially to be the first person. That's great. Is there somebody else that wants to share? I need to change my view so I can see. Oh, Sapphire, I can see. Let me.
You need to put the spotlight on. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I recognize that person. I love her.
Oh yeah, Amy Winehouse. Yeah. That's beautiful. And look at all your. Are you on mute?
Yeah.
I can't take it out. Wait, let me see. Maybe I can go to the side and do it. Wait. You should get a pop-up asking you to.
I unmute. Yeah, unmute it. Yeah.
This is actually my art exhibition piece that I did for Time to Change. It's a little bit older.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think you're going to be able to see this very well.
Massive.
It's massive, yeah.
Bipolar and the brains. I don't think you can see it, but one is like a winter brain and one is like a summer brain.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, we see it, yeah.
And then I just did that for the quote bit, but that's that.
That's amazing.
I am with you with the collage. This is my collage part.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, my aim. I like the aim the best. That's why. And then this is my little thing I did the other day, not that long ago.
Oh wow,
that's beautiful too. Look at all those tangles in there.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Bit of a mental break. Yeah. So yeah, that was me.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
yeah, I love this. I've had like maybe like a week of art, and I know what you mean, like when you don't do it, you actually feel. And when I was doing my masters for psychology, I wasn't doing any art. I got even more depressed because I wasn't doing that art. So yeah, I agree. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't see anybody else
Wanting to share today.
wanting to share. Oh, wait, Joanna.
That's great.
Let's see. Replace spotlight. Okay, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. So I did this the other night because I saw that you prepare, and I did the two on top of each other. So this is just fun, and I always see flowers
That's great.
and some leaves. But I love that you can't really see it, but there's really nice texture in here.
Yeah.
For the leaf, the petal. Yeah, it's really nice. I love doing these. I used to do them with my children, and my son always got these really amazing images from them. And yeah, we always had fun doing splotches. So
That's
it's a
awesome.
good activity. I really like it. I did a whole bunch. I probably did like 6.
Oh, great.
It's quite
I was just
addictive.
having too much fun.
I find myself as well doing so many of them, but do keep them. And anytime you feel like you have no idea what to do, just use them. And dig into your stash. This is what I do. I keep them in a folder on the side, and anytime I feel like I don't have any new idea, then I take it out. And yeah, and it's so nice and rewarding when you finally see something in the image.
Yeah. I have one that's really neat, and I don't know if you can see, but this image just jumped out at me, and because it's 2 separate pieces, it's kind of funny, but it's
Oh,
wow.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Work on it. I can see brilliant stuff in it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think even, can you put it back up again?
yeah. There's almost like 2 things.
I think it would be, well, yeah, I see something so obvious to me in it, which is so cool.
Well, we don't want to spoil.
I'm not.
No.
But
you can't really see it here, but there's like eye. It's really like when you look at it closely, it's kind of, yeah. If you focus on these spots, the little dots, you see it.
That's cool. The other thing that I think would be really interesting is to do one of those, and instead of focusing on where the paint is, focus on the white space.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
is that what you were doing?
No, it's not actually. but yeah, but that's
I'm going to be looking at it, trying to see what else I can see in it.
Yeah, sometimes it's good also to rotate it. Like when you look at it in one layout, for the next day, try to rotate it, and you maybe kind of have this kind of moment of, a spark. This is what I do very often.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fun.
Let's see if there's anybody else. I don't see Gabriella holding anything up, but Steve, let me put you on, Steve. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
I think I found a parrot somewhere.
That's amazing.
That's a hand. I
I can see it. I wanted to say it. Yeah, hand. Yeah.
There's a hand sort of keeping the parrot quiet or something. You know what you said earlier. So I did the blob earlier today. I followed the video.
Yeah.
And I've only just drawn that tonight with the black, the pen. Saw the parrot from the blob after you mentioned the parrot.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. I really do.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. All right. Does anybody else want? Are you holding yours up, Gabrielle? Okay, let me. She's being very brave. The one that says that she is not an artist. Hello.
Hello. So you can't see anything anyway, probably because it's with tea, and so
you did the tea.
Yeah, I did the tea. It smells so bad. So the story is that I bought some tea and it tastes really, really bad. And Jennifer said that I should paint with it. And so that's why I used it today. And so I don't think you can see anything.
No, but I believe you.
So I painted a tree. Oh, you might be hearing some music because my partner is playing. So it's a tree, and it's about, well, I did two actually, but the first one is a tree, and it's about the fact that we, in our lives, we have a moment where we create our foundations and then we flourish. So that's the top. And I was thinking a lot about the fact that I wish I had done things differently when I was younger. And so it might have had impact. But actually, I know it's kind of unrelated and I can't feel guilty about my childhood. But but so the base is kind of really blurry because that represents that. And the second one, I was talking about a family fight earlier, and it's so that's the one. And I well, it's about a fight with my sister. I don't think you can see anything yet. Wait, I told you it's ugly. Sorry.
No, don't say that. Don't.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's experimental. And so it has something about my relationship with my sister, and the fact that it's really chaotic, and I feel like we have to take different paths, and I hate that because I can't keep so far from my sister, but every time we gather we fight. And so so that's, and I had another fight today, and it was just right after I thought, yes, that time I can make it work, and it didn't work. So it surprised me, and I felt like a weight, and I feel like we have to separate paths. But at the same time, I don't know how that's gonna work because yeah. So
Does it feel any?
really have,
Does it feel any better now that you kind of, I mean, not that it solves anything,
yes,
but just kind of getting it out?
No, it's yeah. And something that I've been working on as well is like kind of writing every day and journaling what I felt I was struggling with every morning. But this morning I couldn't find like the outcome or the positive side of things. So having the occasion to express it another way than writing, it really helps. And I don't know what I'm going to make with this or how it's going to evolve, but yeah, it's really helpful. So
Very
thank you.
good. Oh, I'm glad you did it. Okay, let me see if there's.
Well done. And you know, using natural resources for creative outcome, it's so cool, and it can give you so beautiful outcomes. And I'm sure that we would be able to see it in a daylight better than artificial light. But this, what you can do to enhance it, you could do the white spaces in some dark contrast color, and then the tea will emerge out. The tea drawing or painting, whatever we call it. But you actually touch on something that is quite important, that when you have some negative event in your day or life and you try to portray it on the paper, it gives you a kind of release that you may not be able to do in real life. So on the paper, you can punch something up. Or you could, like you said, draw the argument, and that way process it, think about it, evaluate, reflect what could be done differently, which you may not be able to do with your sister face to face because of obvious, reasons. And this is actually what I can show you if I find what I did recently. I have awful situations at work recently. And this is what I did in my journal. I really had an urge to punch. I couldn't punch without legal proceedings. So I draw punching gloves to just take this urge out of my mind. And of course, it doesn't change the aspect that it would be better to punch something, but at least I take a bit of pressure out, and that way I could deal with the rest. So this is what art can do, what any creative outlet can do, and it's very, very important.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I think we're kind of running out of time. I wanted to take just one second to show, just to show you guys my webpage, if that's okay.
The spotlight, Jennifer.
Ah, the spotlight. I have to find myself first. Where am I? Here I am. Okay.
No, where are you?
Here I am. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I've never done it before. Let me know if you can see.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
We can,
I just wanted to show you guys, this is my webpage, and normally I give people like a 10% discount if they sign up for my newsletter. But I want to give you guys a 15% discount if anybody does want to make any purchases, and that's until Monday. And then at the bottom of the webpage, so these are all the girls that I had in my exhibit. So you just, if it will do anything, then you can see there's different pictures on each girl. And then also at the bottom of each page, you can sign up for my newsletter if you'd like to. I'd be really, really pleased if you did. And yeah, so the link should be in the chat. And let's see. That's it.
I have pasted it before, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, it would be, I would be very thankful to anybody that signs up for the newsletter. And then of course we have the newsletter for this, for this event as well, that we'd like to send out. What did we say? Every 3 months we'll complete a newsletter, but then we might send invitations in between if we have another event coming up. And feel free to share the event anywhere you'd like, anyone that you think that can benefit from this. As long as people are interested, we're going to keep doing them. And we've had a little idea. I don't even know if I should say this, but this will make us accountable, right? If I say it, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you say it.
So we had this little idea that once we do 12 of these or so, if we continue for the year, that we may actually release a book with all 12 of, well, actually, I take that back. It's 6 of these, because that would be 12 exercises. So the book would include nice photographs of everything that we've done, as well as instructions on how to recreate them. And that's it. I'm just really, really pleased that we had so many people tonight, and I want to thank everybody. I hope you got a lot from it. I know that the 2 of us get a lot out of doing it. For you guys and for us as well. So
yeah, there is some important comment in a chat. If you did the screenshot of the chat, that's fine, but I will extract it before I will close the room, and I will create a post-event info, and it will be sent to you when the rewatch is available. So we will combine everything into one email, not to harass you with too many emails. I know how it is to receive 10,000 emails a day. So we will get all the links and all the important information. If there was a question that we missed, we will answer in post-event. If you attended our first one, you will see that there was a question about felt tips, how to make them last longer or revive them. So we posted an answer to it, and stuff like that. So yes, feel assured that you will have all that have been shared today. And we will have another event next month, towards the end of the month.
Right.
And we will share with you as soon as we finalize the details.
Yes. How do you access that? We're going to send an email, Sapphire. It'll be probably tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, by Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, probably by Monday. Have mercy on me.
Yeah. Sorry, Monday.
Yeah, remember that I have unwell male in the house. It means that I can't do much. This that I'm doing it is like miracle because I bullied my children to look after them all.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we will send that. It will come from, it will be post-event through Eventbrite. So that is why we always mention that if you can't make it tonight, but if you register, then you will receive all the information and the link to replay in the post-event communications. So it will come through you to you through Eventbrite.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a really nice night. I guess it's night for most of us.
Yeah, and keep that parrot caged.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Shut that parrot up.
It was lovely having you. See you next month.
Bye-bye.